Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Steve Harney. I'm the founder of Keeping Current Matters. I just wanted to let you know that this particular deep dive is being recorded. We're recording it earlier in the week to be released on Friday. That's the 12th, the first day you'll be able to see it, because we're not going to be able to do a deep dive next Monday. It's another holiday. Since we had 3 holidays on the Monday, that would have been the third one. We didn't want to miss another deep dive. So we pre-recorded it to have available to you whenever you have the time to go ahead and take a look. But that's the reason. Now, the bad news is, very obviously, on this particular deep dive, you're not going to be able to ask questions. You're not going to be able to make comments. There's no interaction because it is a recorded deep dive. But I think the information is really important, really important that you get. Okay, so let's get started. This particular deep dive is going to be the non-financial benefits of homeownership. Now, I want you to understand that for the last 15 years, more than 15 years, almost 20 years, we really haven't talked a lot about the non-financial benefits of homeownership, because the financial parts of homeownership was so crazy. First, we had the run-up in the early 2000s, then we had the crash, then things came tumbling down and prices were crazy. So we're talking about the prices and the foreclosures. And then what wound up taking place is, in order to get us back out of that mess, they lowered mortgage rates and the Fed rate to the point that we were having very, very low interest rates for a long period of time. That was really the dominating conversation, how low rates were. They even went down into the 2s. And things got crazy, and then they popped back up over the last 18 months, hitting 8% in 1 week, and now they're settling back down in the mid-6s as we may do this recording. So because of all that flux about prices and mortgage rates, the financial aspects of homeownership have been front and center. But there's another side to this, the non-financial benefits of homeownership. And I want to go over those with you right now. As we always start every single deep dive with, most agents know what's happening. They know there are non-financial benefits of homeownership. Good agents understand what's happening. They understand that there's, perks, in owning your own home. You can paint it, whichever color you want to paint it. You can put a swing set in the backyard. But the great agents can explain what's happening. They can truly explain the non-financial benefits. So I want to go through that with you so you have a better understanding. Now, we already know without a doubt that on the financial side, there's benefits. We just covered that in the last deep dive on January 8th, that you can also find on the Keeping Current Matters YouTube page, a replay of that, where we dug deep into net worth and what homeownership's, input into net worth. Here's the final result. People who own a home have much greater net worth than people who don't own a home. All right? So what wound up taking place is we recorded a whole 30 minutes on that subject earlier this week, dramatic impact of homeownership on net worth. Take a look at that replay. But again, what we want to talk about is Americans' belief in homeownership more holistically. The whole, so not just the financial advantages, but what are the non-financial advantages? And I first want you to understand that homeownership is still a major part of the American dream. When the Bankrate did a survey on it, they said, what do you see as remains the number one feature of the American dream? Homeownership won. Being able to retire, successful career, college degree, they're all part of the American dream. But the number one piece is still homeownership. Obviously, they could pick more than one, but homeownership won out as the number one situation. And when we break it down, there are lifestyle benefits, the non-financial benefits, and there are financial benefits of homeownership. And we broke down in the survey from Fannie Mae what they are. The financial benefits, the green on the right, having the best investment plan, being better off financially overall, saving for retirement, and building up wealth. But on the other side, the lifestyle benefits, having control over your living space, not having a landlord tell you whether or not you can hang a picture or not hang a picture, that having a landlord tell you whether you can have a dog or not have a dog, not having a landlord tell you whether you can put a swing set in the backyard, having a sense of privacy and security. Again, it's your house. You lock it up whichever way you want to lock it up. No one can come in without your permission to come in. No one else has a key to your house. No one else has any feeling that they have a right to be in your house. Most importantly, in my opinion, being a parent, is having a good place to raise your family. But those are the three major lifestyle benefits. So let's go through those a little bit further. In further support of homeownership's enduring appeal, our data showed clear non-financial benefits to owning a home, as well, that we believe provide additional dimensions of value for consumers that, for the most part, other financial assets do not cover. That is from Fannie Mae itself. What they're saying is there are non-financial benefits. Fannie Mae is acknowledging that non-financial benefits are crucially important to the consumer, the American public. Now, when we take a look at the benefits of homeownership, we can see, as we mentioned before, and now we're breaking it down, living in a place where you and your family feel safe, living in a nicer home, having less stress. Each one of those things are crucially important. And I want you to understand, because there's some feeling that out there that, maybe it's not as important to own a home any longer, that there are now generations that don't think that that's important. Well, ladies and gentlemen, actually, if we take a look, and we'll continue just as we go through about the generations, but if we take a look, each one of these things increased. Having less stress, if we compare Q4 2020, it's done every 2 years to report, Q4 of 2020, having less stress, more people felt they had less stress. How many people thought it was important to living in a nicer home? That increased over the last couple of years. Living in a place where you and your family feel safe, that increased over the last couple of years. The benefits of home ownership, all right, are increasing. The non-financial benefits, the feeling toward the non-financial benefits of home ownership are increasing, not decreasing. Home ownership has been, is, and always will be one of the major pieces, if not the number one piece of the American dream. Now we break it down for another study from Fannie Mae. Having control over what you do with your living space. All right, this goes back to the one we were talking about before, and we give you the numbers now. 94%, more than 9 out of 10 people believe having control over what you do with your own living space is important. Again, the dog, hanging the picture, putting the playset out back, having a sense of privacy and security. We're hearing all sorts of crazy stories of what landlords do, and I'm not trying to beat up on landlords. I'm not trying to do that at all. But when you own the house, it's yours. You walk in that front door, that's yours. Nobody else has claim to it. Having a good place for your family to raise your children, again, 9 out of 10 people believe that. That owning a home, they talk about it, having a good place to raise a family. Our homes offer space to reflect our tastes, our ethos, and routines without external judgment. Again, you can paint the wall whatever you want. You can put whatever pictures up you want. Hanging favorite artwork, surrounding ourselves with favorite colors, and developing layouts reflective of personal lifestyles are all ways our homes offer opportunities for self-expression. Creating a space that reflects a strong sense of self or the collective taste of its residents can be an excellent way to self-reflect and express creativity. Of course, that's from an interior designer, but what she's saying is exactly true. It's yours. It's your color palette. Do with it what you want. Make it not something you like. Make it you. And that's one of the great benefits of home ownership, that you can walk into it knowing, yeah, this is me and this is mine. A home is a place where memories are made. It is a backdrop for holidays, family gatherings, and special moments. It is where you can create your traditions and make lasting memories with the people you love. These memories will be cherished forever and provide happy moments to reflect on when times are tough. Okay? So Steve Carlton is, what is he saying right here? He's saying home is more than just a place to live. And ladies and gentlemen, we all have pictures of ourselves as children. Many of us, our parents still own the same house, or we have memories of that same house. My family bought a lake house just recently. And part of the way we're setting up that house is we want generation after generation to come there. I don't want just my grandchildren to be there, and they have been. I want their grandchildren and their grandchildren's grandchildren to be there. I want it to be part of our family. The whole, living on the lake experience be part of our family. But you could do that in a little kitchen where grandma's still making the spaghetti and mixing up the sauce and putting out a great Sunday afternoon meal. Buying a home encourages you to get to know your neighbors and get involved in local affairs. There's a sense of belonging and a sense of pride that comes with being a homeowner alongside others in your community. Now, I get the flip side of that is a lot of renters will say, well, I like to be mobile. In case I want to move, I can move. In case I get a job across the country, I want to be able to move across the country and not be burdened with having to sell the house. And in certain aspects of your life, certain times of your life, that's probably going to be true. But that probably won't be true as you start to settle in. When you find the job you really love, you find the person you really love. Maybe the two of you are going to have children. Then you're going to settle in. You're going to be part of the PTA. You're going to be part of the soccer club. You're not going to be transient. You're going to decide when you're going to move, not someone else. And you'll be able to lock in your monthly housing expense, the mortgage payment, for the next 30 years. Sure, taxes are going to go up, insurance is going to go up, maybe this year a little bit more than normal. But the rent is going to go up every year for the next 30 years. Sometimes a little bit, sometimes a lot. But more important is you're going to feel part of the community because you know you're not transient. What do we say? As we get older, we want to set roots. That's what homeownership is about. When you're ready. Stability. Remaining in one neighborhood for several years allows you and your family time to build long-lasting relationships within the community. It also offers children the benefit of educational and social continuity. All of us, well, many of us, most of us, I would argue, still have high school friends that we stay in touch with. Maybe it's just through Facebook. Maybe we meet them once a year. Maybe we get together with them more often. But we still have school-age friends or friends we made when we were of school age that we still enjoy because we were with them for years. Some of them, we argue, are part of our family. When you're transient and you're moving from place to place, that doesn't happen. And again, I get there's some benefits to being transient, but there's also some benefits for settling down, putting in roots. There's research as per academic research that proves each one of these points. Increased wealth accumulation. If you want more information on that, again, listen to last Monday's deep dive. Improve labor market outcomes. If you're set in a community and they know you're going to be set in a community, things change. If they know you're tied into that community, the way your job looks at you is a little bit different. Better mental and physical health. Again, there's academic reports on that. Increase financial and physical health for seniors. Reduce rates of divorce. That's fact, ladies and gentlemen. Homeowners divorce less than renters do. Improve school performance and development of children. Now, that's a little bit of a touchy one with me because a parent that's a renter might say, well, I want my child to have good school performance and develop. And I'm sure that that's the case. But again, there's that stability piece that we're talking about. If they're going from grade to grade in the same school with the same kids, or mostly the same kids, with the same teachers, at least that they're bumping into in the hallway, there's just a confidence that gets built out of that. Now, sometimes these things are difficult to explain to a buyer sitting in front of you or a seller thinking about making a move. But that doesn't make them less important. Research in the social sciences and medical field has often noted the benefits offered by homeownership with respect to mental and physical health of household members. This is from the International Housing Association. Numerous studies find that homeowners have better health and greater life expectancy than renters. Homeowners tend to better maintain their dwellings, and this effect may be responsible for the observed benefit on physical health. We all heard some of the horror stories that there's a water leak or there's mold in a room and the landlord's not quick enough to get it done. As a homeowner, you're going to protect your family. You're going to get it done as quick as you can. That's just true. Now, again, I'm not beating up on landlords. I'm not beating up on people who rent a home. I'm just stating the fact that there are some landlords that are not going to be as quick to fixing a mold situation or maybe even debating whether it should be fixed. If you own the home, you make that decision, not somebody else. And you're not forced to move if you don't like the decision, because you're the one making it if you're a homeowner. All these little things that we really haven't thought about a lot in the last 20 years matter tremendously. As a matter of fact, if you take a look at surveys, the non-financial benefits of homeownership always are ahead of the financial benefits when Americans are surveyed. They understand the value of homeownership from a non-financial standpoint. I think it's time we start reminding them of that. I believe owning a home is important. It is aspirational beliefs. And again, that goes to mental health. I feel good about myself because I did something important. All right. Believing owning a home is an important factor in the good life or the life they would like to have. Listen, we're going through this right now. Some of the people that, some of the younger people that bought houses over the last couple of years are enjoying a tremendous equity. They have a very low monthly mortgage payment because their mortgage rate is really low. And then we have the other side that wasn't able to jump in or wasn't ready to jump in or didn't think they should jump in. And now they're missing out on that. And it's bothering them. They missed out on that. Now, I'm not saying they're not going to become homeowners. Of course, they're going to become homeowners if they want to. Again, home appreciation is moderating dramatically. It's not going to be double digits like it has been. It's been going to be low single digits, probably for the next couple of years. Wages are going up and mortgage rates seem to be moderating in the right direction. Affordability will get better and better. It might not be where it was when we had 2% mortgage rates, of course. We'll go back to normal historical affordability and they will be able to buy. And when they do, they're going to feel good. Millions of Gen Z and millennial Americans will buy homes in the coming years. Those brokers and agents who take the time to understand them, help them solve their problems, and give them candid advice will be their real estate professionals. This is a survey done by 1000 Watt, a marketing company that's very connected to the real estate industry. And they went out and said, all right, let's find out. We're hearing these things about Gen Z and millennial buyers. They're a renter, generation. They don't really believe in things. Let's find out what the truth of the matter is. And what they did find out in the survey is they asked, do you feel that you have to own the place you live in to feel like it's home? Do you have to own the building, the house that you live in to feel that it's truly home? Almost 2 out of 3 said yes. 63% said, yeah, I don't consider it home if I don't own it. Think about the aspirational piece of that. Goes back to what I was just saying. Despite the daunting reality of high rates and high prices and the corresponding cultural awareness of affordability crisis, 90%, 95% of respondents, again, these are millennials and Gen Z, of respondents expressed a desire to own a home. This is up from 91% in our August 2021 survey. So not only are millennials and Gen Z, 90% of them want to own a home. The percentage is rising, not falling. So if somebody's telling you, well, the young people today, they don't really want to own a home. They're more into the rental situation. Well, no, that's just not true. Not according to surveys, it's not true. What's the data that you say that? Well, I have a friend. Well, anecdotal data doesn't really matter. What are the masses doing? And if we take this number, that 95% number, it's actually 95.5% in the survey, you see that the vast majority of millennials and Gen Zs are looking to go ahead and purchase a home. And that same survey showed us this. that the non-financial benefits are more important to them than the financial benefits. The emotional lifestyle reasons, pride of ownership, a place for me and my family to call home. 59.16% said that was the primary reason. Financial, rational reasons, buying a home is a good investment and builds wealth. They realized that made sense. It was almost 40% said that, but almost 60% leaned more heavily to the non-financial advantages. And that's from that survey. Let's take a look what NAR's 2023 buyer and seller profiles showed. The top 10 reasons for purchasing a home, first-time home buyers. 60%, the number one reason by far. You could take all the rest of the reasons, add them together, and it doesn't come to this. Desire to own a home of their own. That's first-time home buyers. Most of them are going to be younger. This concept that people don't want to own their own home, the younger generation, that's just not true. Survey after survey, some of which I'm showing you, prove that's not true. And if we take a look at all buyers, it's still a dramatic, more than double the next one. That includes first-time buyers and repeat buyers. And in repeat buyers, there's still a non-financial aspect to that. But a repeat buyers that moved at least 100 miles, what's their number one reason for moving? Not to get more sun, not to have a better, a more desirable neighborhood, not because they got job relocated. They want to move closer to friends or family. That's a non-financial benefit. We have to talk like that more now. We have to talk not just about the financial benefits, but the non-financial benefits. And again, if we're flexing that muscle, the muscle of talking about non-financial, we haven't used that muscle in 20 years. We have to make that muscle strong this year. We have to get to thinking, not because I'm afraid of it. It's still a great financial, there's tremendous financial advantages to owning a home. We covered that in last Monday's deep dive. But I think we're missing something if we don't discuss the non-financial benefits. While homeownership is challenging for many would-be buyers, it doesn't mean people no longer aspire to own a home. The American dream is still owning a home. There's a lot of pent-up demand for ownership that isn't going to go away. It might take longer for people to get and be able to realize that dream. And this is from Nicole Borchon, senior economist at Zillow. The American dream is still owning a home. We showed you surveys on that. We've shown you quotes on that. We gave you the reasons why. And talking about the reasons why, one of the last things I want to leave you with is this. The 12 reasons to be thankful for your home from Forbes. And when you look at it, it's a place to express yourself personally. It's a safe space. You get to switch off. It's a safe to celebrate happiness. It's a haven for self-expression. It provides shelter. It provides stability. It's where we build families. It's in good shape, meaning we take better care of it. All right. It's a place to make memories. It offers shelter during difficult times. It's your support system. That's Forbes magazine, a financial institution, puts out a magazine, and in their magazine, the top 12 reasons to be thankful for your home are non-financial. That's saying something, ladies and gentlemen. That's saying something pretty big. We have to get back to that. And on that point, for all the KCM members out there, we have a Real Talk where you could do a 1-minute video on the non-financial benefits of home ownership. We give you the script, we give you the visuals, we give you everything. So if you're a KCM member, please make sure you go ahead and put that out. I just begged of you to make sure that we're talking about the non-financial benefits as much as we're talking about the financial benefits of home ownership moving forward. It's crucially important that we do that. And we make it simple for you. We give you the script, we give you the visuals. All you need is you. Record that video. Get it out on social media, every single place that you can. This is the year 2024, and we'll deal with all the financial advantages of home ownership. We're not going to walk away from that narrative, but we want to add a narrative. and what most Americans believe is the more important narrative, the non-financial benefits of homeownership. We haven't decided what the next deep dive is going to be on January. We know it's going to be January 22nd, but I want you to know that I'm not sure the subject. Mortgage rates are plummeting. Then all of a sudden, the 10-year Treasury ticked up again. We're going to take a look at that over the next week. We're going to be taking a look at prices over the next week. And we're going to get a whole bunch of information about where we stand as far as inventory is concerned. And those things combined is going to determine how many transactions we're going to do this year. So we're still figuring out how we're going to break down the most important aspects of what we have going forward. And as soon as we have the first one available, we'll let you know. But as of right now, the January 22nd, next deep dive is to be determined. But it's probably going to be on mortgage rates, just between me and you. 2024 is going to be a phenomenal year. It's not going to be a good year. It's going to be a phenomenal year. I do believe that by the end of this year, we're going to see 5% mortgage rates. Not 5.00, but mortgage rates in the 5s. I do believe that appreciation is going to be somewhere around 5%, not 8%, not 10%, not 15%, like it has been over the last several years. We're going to balance out, maybe even a little bit lower than 5%. And that's a good thing. It's going to help with affordability. And ladies and gentlemen, if those two things happen, if prices stay pretty stable and mortgage rates do come down to the low 6s, high 5s, we're going to sell 5 million houses this year. And just for people to know, that would be like a 20% increase over last year. And I think it's going to be 5.5 million. There's going to be an avalanche of business coming at you this spring. An avalanche. I think it's already started. What you need to do is make sure that when all those people come rushing into your store, you have plenty of stuff on the shelves. You have to dedicate yourself to go out there and get listings right now. And even when you're taking a listing and everyone's going to be looking at the numbers, well, I have a 4% mortgage now. I would have to take a 5.5% mortgage. Talk about the non-financial benefits. Talk about what's truly important to them. Remind them what's truly important to them. If you have a set of grandparents up in New York, their kids, their adult children, they moved down to Florida years ago. Better job situation. They got into construction, or whatever the case may be. And they just stayed down there. And they had kids down there. The grandparents, grandchildren. Now, I will tell you something as a grandparent, and I've talked to a lot of grandparents. Most grandparents are petrified that their kids are going to raise their grandkids. Now, obviously, that's a joke. But the reason it's kind of funny is because it's a little bit true. They want to be involved with their grandchildren. They want to sell that house up in New York. Maybe it's a 3-4 bedroom colonial that they don't want to heat anymore. They don't want to shovel the snow anymore. They don't want to mow the lawn anymore. But most importantly, they want to be near family. That's a non-financial reason to buy a house. And we've shown you study after study have said that the non-financial reasons in people's minds and people's hearts are more important. We just have to remind them of that. Do the numbers with them. Figure out, well, you have a lot of equity here. So that means if you buy something in Florida, you're going to be able to put a lot of money down. So you're going to have maybe less of a mortgage because you might be able to get something a little less expensive in Florida. You might be downsizing to be near your kids. Do those numbers. And if the numbers don't work out 100% right, if they're paying an extra couple $100 a month, remind them they're making that sacrifice for their grandkids, to be with their grandkids. Let's make sure, not in a manipulative way, not in a way that the people understand that you're trying to help them accomplish what they want to accomplish. If they want to be with their grandkids, get them there. If there are things standing in the way that have them distracted Remove the distractions. You're not going to make them move. All I want you to do is give them the options and help them better understand the options. If being with their grandkids isn't worth a couple of extra $100 a month, they have to question that. You don't have to question it. They have to question to themselves how much they really want to be with their grandkids. And I can give you a million examples like that. Let's talk about what's really important. Why are they moving? And then we'll figure out the financial part of it. Let's bring it back to the non-financial reasons, the lifestyle reasons they're moving. Their desire to move, what they're going to get out of them. And then figure out the numbers. Thank you very much for spending some time with us today. As I say at the end of almost every single deep dive, you gave me a half hour of your life. I hope you got a great return on your investment, and looking forward to seeing you in the next deep dive.